There it is.
Okay, zip it up. Zip it all the way up so nothing won't fall out. I got shit in there. Ready?
Yep.
We're live on Facebook. Go ahead, son, talk.
What's up? So, live from the highway, I got a Mack truck next to me. We're in St. Louis, I-64, and there's seems to be a little demonstration about to happen. Share this video so people can see it. There are Black Lives Matter and their allies out here. That gentleman just said we all have red blood.
That's true.
So Ty and I have been walking now. What do you think? Quarter mile? Half a mile now? Down the highway, and I honestly don't know what the hell they're doing.
You guys need to get a job, man.
Okay. This is my job, I think. All right. I don't quite know what's going on yet, but it seems to be a little rush hour traffic at 8 o'clock at night. Let's go over here. So, this isn't a fashion statement. I'm just making sure I don't get too bad tear gassed. As you can see, there's people standing on top of a car. If you come into the story late, a big reason for the protests here the last few weeks. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. In 2011, then police officer by the name of Jason Stockley, during a chase of a 24-year-old African-American named Anthony Lamar Smith. It started in a Church's Chicken parking lot. Anthony Lamar Smith backed out of that parking lot. And then Jason Stockley and his partner in a police chase chased Anthony Lamar Smith about 3 miles. Once they rammed into his vehicle, Jason Stockley shot him 5 or 6 times. He killed him. And then, from what I could see, seems like he planted a gun. But on audio, on recording, the officer said, "I'm going to kill that motherfucker. You watch. I'm going to kill that motherfucker. You watch." And 2 weeks ago, that officer was found not guilty of murder. So turn it around. You can see the blockade here. This is on the highway, I-64. Looks like a couple hundred here so far. Couple hundred. And they are blockading as we speak. And some of them are holding arms. Actually, quite a bit are holding arms. You see the Black Lives Matter signs. We have African Americans, white people, older people, younger people, independent media.
Treating them and what's
so
expected. They were the police at the top too.
We got police up there, as you can see, and now you have, I'd say, I don't know, maybe over 100, a little over 100 people. They are blocking the whole highway near. This is I-64 here in St. Louis, and as I said before, they are protesting against the ongoing violence against African Americans, from Michael Brown to Anthony Lamar Smith. There's been many others in the middle of those deaths. And they are also protesting because the police here have been essentially brutalizing them. They've been brutalizing them with tear gas, pepper spray, mace, militarized weaponry, as we've seen in Ferguson, in Baltimore, in Standing Rock. Just came out the other day that one of the police sergeants, his name is Brian Rassamano. He's a police sergeant. Yeah, he's a police sergeant, and he literally has a private military training organization that is training the St. Louis Police Department in brutalization and how to brutalize the protesters. So as you see, the police are on their way. You see them, a couple cars here on the right, and in front of them are, I'd say over 200 at this point, maybe a little more. Protesters, Black Lives Matter, they're white allies. They're saying, united we stand, divided we fall.
Divided we fall! Divided we fall!
Boom, 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 boom.
You can't stop the revolution!
You can't stop the revolution!
You can't stop the revolution! You can't stop the revolution! You can't stop the revolution! You won't stop the revolution!
You won't stop the revolution!
You won't stop the revolution!
Chanting, you won't stop the revolution. And what's really interesting about this, we were just talking to someone on the way here, and that person was telling us that she has protested all around this country, from Baltimore all the way to San Francisco. She said the St. Louis Police Department are by far the worst in terms of brutalizing protesters and just militarize actions. And you've seen that in Ferguson, and over the last 2 weeks, you've seen it here. I interviewed a young man the other day who told me the tear gas, they deploy it, and you don't smell it, or you don't experience it for a minute or two. There was a delayed reaction, and his lungs are so bad, the doctor told him he has permanent damage. And that was from protests here, just exercising the First Amendment. So the police here have gotten used to, frankly, beating the shit out of protesters.
Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! When black lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do?
And right in the front there, with the Superman sweatshirt, is State Senator Bruce Franks. He's been one of the leaders of the protest movement. He's a senator here. Actually had a town hall last night that Ty and I went to, where the protests and the racial tensions here were a very big discussion. You all right? So up there, as you can see, the police are back behind us, and now you got looks like two big ass police trucks right up there, and it's a little hot. I ain't gonna lie, we sweating. Now they're saying, whose streets? Whose streets? Whose highway? And a little background on this. We've been doing interviews. They are very specific. They are looking to be nonviolent. They don't want to be violent, but they are not looking to be peaceful. They are purposely looking to disrupt business, disrupt daily activities like traffic, because they are tired of getting killed. A reverend the other day, Darrell Gray, told me the bottom line is stop killing black people. He said it 4 times. Stop killing black people. Just like that. So they don't want to be pleasant. They want to disrupt, and they want to hit the St. Louis business community where it hurts, in the wallet, because that's the only thing politicians pay attention to.
Talk to the Reverend. See where we at here.
Right. Hold on. Reverend, can I get a word with you? Real quick? Okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine. So, can't talk right now. But, yeah, right now, I've never walked on an empty highway like this, so this is interesting. They're shouting, "This is what democracy looks like." Let me get closer.
This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. I believe
that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I
know
that we will win.
I know that we will win.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 if we don't get it,
Shut it
I
down.
said if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
no justice,
No profits.
no justice,
No profits.
no justice,
No profits.
no justice,
No profits.
say I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
Say I know that we will win.
I know that we will win.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
And what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
And what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
And what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
So, right over there, looks like you have, I don't know what that is, emergency vehicles, emergency response trucks. You see people up there on the bridge looking down. I see a few of them holding up fists in solidarity. And we've heard this state to state. No justice, no peace, no racist police. No justice, no peace, no racist police. And the other day, just so you have an idea what it's like here, the other day the Reverend here said to me, the racial tensions here are so bad, this is the new Selma. This is the new Selma. And honestly, like, I never experienced any of that, but you can feel it. You can feel it in this city. The tension is, you can cut it by a cord. And people are, shooting on their cameras up there from the bridge. And frankly, it doesn't seem like people want to talk during this action, which is fine. I could talk for all of us, unfortunately. Maybe you like that, maybe you don't, I don't know. But people are really in it. I asked at least 2 people to speak so far, and they're in the moment, so that's fine. But you know, this is, by the way, it ain't easy to shut down a highway. So this is a pretty damn big deal that they've been able to do this. They're saying very loudly, stand up and fight back. Stand up and fight back.
Stand up and fight back. Stand up and fight back. Stand up and fight back.
So, yeah, I'd say we've been going, what, Ty, like at least a mile and a half now? Yeah, a mile and a half. Good, I need some exercise. My back's broken. And there's plenty of independent journalists here, too. I could be wrong. I don't see many in the national. I don't see local media, but I could be wrong. We'll see. But independent media, way before the Young Turks, has been here throughout these protests. I interviewed one of them. Revolutionary Z is his name. Revolutionary Z. Been covering this. You got STL Today have been covering it. You got people wearing "Fuck the Police" hoodies. You know. I understand. Ty agrees. Have you seen anything like this that you've covered?
Not that I've covered, but I've participated in things like this in LA. When we blocked the 10 freeway, the 110, yeah, in downtown LA. I was a part of that, and it was, it's more traffic in LA, but this is amazing. I mean, it all looks the same. I'm surprised though that we haven't been stopped.
Yeah.
That's what.
Don't jinx this, motherfucker. So they've stopped here. Let's see what's going on.
Jefferson. They trying to put us in the trap. They're trying to put us in the trap. Jefferson.
So they're right now. It seems like they're moving people to the side, right off the highway.
He said something like they're trying to put them in the trap. So
yeah.
I guess what happened last week with what happened last week when they were protesting, the police came from both sides. I think from 4 sides, locked them in and then arrested everyone. So I think right now they're seeing that happen, and so they're trying to retreat now and go to another spot.
So this guy, ready for rain, with a Black Lives Matter umbrella. Very fashionable. I like that. That's nice. So right here, protesters moving off to the exit ramp. Vehicles trying to get through. Hold on one second. So right now, street. So it looks like they're heading off the exit ramp here. Not a Midwesterner, but this street up here is Jefferson. Jefferson.
No profits. No justice. No profits.
Now they're saying no justice, no profit.
This is what democracy
police is out now. They're in full force.
Here comes the police. You see, I see police cars as far as the eyes could see. I'd say I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7 in front of me. Probably a few more past that. And here they go. And you see people again, arms joined on the front lines.
Show them what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
No justice.
No profits.
No justice.
No profits.
No racist.
Police.
No abusive.
Police.
No murdering.
Police.
No justice.
No profits.
No justice.
No profits.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose highway?
Our highway.
Whose highway?
Our highway.
So they successfully took the highway. Now we're moving off the highway. We'll see where they go next. I have no idea. So, what's that?
Police headquarters.
Police headquarters. It looks like. So, yeah, they're not fooling around here. They want to send a message. You've heard it over and over and over again. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Stop killing black people.
Send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
So they're pretty much just walking through the street here in St. Louis.
The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
Set and tight.
Convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
And back on the highway, I mean, there is an army of police cars, and looks like we got some in front of us too, down there.
Our streets. Whole street. 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 Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. They think it's a joke. 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 It ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. It ain't no joke.
And I think what's important here, and we've seen it, and I've heard it from Black Lives Matter protesters all over the country, is the turnout of white people. It's on white people to stand by their African American brother and sister. I see older white people, I see younger white people, and it's a beautiful thing because it's about African American, Black Lives Matter, and it's about basic human rights. And I've seen over the last few days here so many white people part of the Black Lives Matter movement here. So it's very important, and I'm seeing it nationwide, New York, Baltimore, and here. And we saw it in Ferguson as well. They're saying, who polices the police? We do. Who polices the police? We do. And you see other people live streaming around us. And let me tell you something, man. It just got humid up in this bitch. Woo! I got swamp ass. How about you, Ty?
Yeah, it's pretty hot, man.
It's pretty hot.
We police the police.
There we go. Y'all ready for a new one? Then, if you know it, say it with us. If not, just catch on. You ready, Tori? Yeah. I need you to be loud.
So,
we ain't get no peace because of y'all. Y'all get no peace because of me, huh? Huh? You ain't get no peace cause of y'all. Y'all get no peace cause of me. Huh? You ain't get no peace cause of y'all.
And I want to make a point up here. The guy who's on the megaphone right now, he's a state senator. His name's Bruce Franks. That is what representing your people looks like. That's what representing your people look like. He represents a large swath of the protesters out here, and he's not just giving some bullshit statement in protest. He is out there putting his body on the line, his voice on the line, his career on the line, and he's out representing his people.
Y'all get no peace cause of me. Huh? He ain't get no peace cause of y'all. Y'all get no peace cause of me. Huh? We ain't get no peace cause of y'all. Y'all ain't get no peace cause of me. I say ain't get no peace cause of y'all. Y'all ain't get no peace cause of me. I say ain't get no peace cause of y'all. So y'all get no peace cause of me. If you ain't get no peace cause of y'all. So y'all get no peace cause of me. If you ain't get no peace cause of y'all, so y'all get no peace cause of me. Y'all get no peace cause of y'all, so y'all get no peace cause of me. My daddy get no peace cause of y'all, and y'all get no peace cause of me. To me, ain't get no peace cause of y'all, and y'all get
We got any comments up in here?
I'm kind of tired. I think that this is great. I think this is what you have to do. I love the fact that they say that no justice, no profit. No justice, no profit. That's one of the things that stuck out to me. You gotta hold it, folks. I haven't heard that in any protest. No justice, no profit. They don't give a fuck about you having social justice, but economic justice they don't want you to have. So you make sure that you don't. Okay, here come the police. Look.
So we see them coming, and they are blocking. They're about to block the streets there. And now they're chanting, "We ready." It's about to get real up in here.
It's time to fight back. It's time to fight back. Hey, it's time to fight back. 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 Hey, it's time to fight back.
We see about, I'd say, 15 to 20 police cars up there. They are now in the middle of the road, and the leader of the protest here is telling people, "Hey, Ty, right there." So they're in militarized gear there. They got their visors in front of them. And the batons, and presumably pepper spray, tear gas, and all that. So let's see what happens here. The protesters have moved to the side of the road. We'll join them. And the police there are in pretty hefty gear, I would say. How many we got? I'm going to guess between 75 to 100 up there. And they're all, they got billy clubs, visors. Ty. We were just advised to come over here, so that's what we're going to do. These people have been here for a while doing this, so they know what's best. And yeah, this is pretty emblematic of what I saw in Standing Rock and elsewhere. You see,
We're asking everybody to get off the street.
so leaders here are asking protesters to get off the street. We don't know who this is. And yeah, right now it's a bit of a standstill, I would say. And we're going to keep the camera on. So if they're going to do shit, they're going to have to do it in front of everybody.
Shit, look how many in the
Press
back.
the
See how many in the back?
yeah, press the share button. Press. This gentleman said, "Don't matter, don't matter." Is this what it's looked like the whole protest here?
This is what they always do to us. Since the Bright Brown movement, this is what they always do to us. every time. Never fails. Never fails. What are we doing wrong?
Well, right now we're on the sidewalk here.
Exactly. So why then riot gear? We ain't causing no problems over here. We just want to be heard and understood and respected. And if we can't get that, we will continue to interrupt and cause business problems until they understand where we're coming from.
I was talking to someone earlier who told me St. Louis police, she's protested all over this country. She's never seen anything like St. Louis police brutality. It's almost like they get off at how they brutalize you.
They always get off. Prime example, just look at the Stockton case. It speaks for itself. If officers are allowed to get away with murder, but yet still we're not allowed to do peaceful protests. So, I mean, when do humans' lives really matter?
Right.
I guess when they're in jail or sprayed or degraded in the papers by some news station because they stood up for something they believed in.
Right.
And we always get stereotyped like this. And every time we get stereotyped, there it is.
Right.
It speaks for itself.
And they're trying to paint you as, violent and anarchist and crazy, but really you're just fighting for your lives.
But basically that's all we're doing is fighting for our lives. And they're acting as if we're rioting, we're breaking into stores. We're not doing any of that. All we're doing is peaceful protesting, and we ask them to understand where we're coming from.
Right. Let's see what they're saying up here.
So this is what they're doing. They're doing the same thing. Explain what they're doing, though.
Right now, it seems they're forming a kettle again where they have it blocked off on two sides. They're forming another line of cops here to close us off on the third side. There's no exit on the back side, so that's a closed-off kettle. They've given us no dispersal warnings, no communication. We tried asking them if they wanted us to disperse or if they're going to arrest us all. No communication. There's nobody in charge that's communicating right now.
Wow.
So basically, it's entrapment, is what it is. They're entrapping. They're entrapping the protesters here, the journalists here. Looks like got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple over there.
They got all three corners blocked off except one, which there's no way out. This is you kind of have buildings right here, behind here, blocking everything. So they have.
And also, let's just look at the difference here. You have people looking like they're ready to go into battle in Baghdad versus people mostly unarmed over here.
Oh, so it looks like they're about to start moving.
Yeah, so they're moving in now with their billy clubs. This is what they call a kettle. They're basically closing in on all sides, so there's no exits for the protesters, presumably to then either beat them or arrest them. Definitely a tense situation here. And the protesters here moving backwards. You have all of them holding arms for the most part. On the sidewalk, peacefully. A lot of them have their phones up so that they could show the disproportionate force here. And as you can see, the cops have blocked off this back exit.
They keep saying move, and where are we supposed to move? That's what they keep saying, move. The police is saying move right now. We're on the sidewalk. There's nowhere to move.
This is what I would call toying with the protesters. They're telling them to move, but there's really nowhere to move because they've entrapped them over here. So, yeah, absolutely. So right now, bit of a standoff. The police are, that's at least between 100 and 200 police that I could see. Yeah. Explain that.
I know what it is. Giving you no way of escape.
Yeah. So they've been doing this a lot.
Why are you in riot gear? Why are you in riot gear?
We don't see no riot here.
Why are you in riot gear?
We don't see no riot here.
Why are you in riot gear?
We don't see no riot here.
Why are you in riot gear?
Move where? Move where? Where do you want us to move?
So the state senator there is yelling pretty loudly. State representative, thanks, sorry. State representative.
Where should we go?
And the police are basically telling them to move, but then not answering. So they've basically entrapped them. We're nowhere to go. Basically toying with the protesters now. But luckily there's hundreds of cameras on right now, so whatever they're going to do next, they won't be able to do it in secret. Ty is up there right in front of them. Hey, Ty, be careful there. I like you. So Ty is showing how many there are. You got, I'd say, there's definitely a few hundred officers here. And like they were saying, I don't see the riot here. There is no riot. Yeah, they disrupted the highway, which is obviously an inconvenience. But there's really been no violence at all. So it's kind of a head scratcher, the disproportionate force you got here. Ty! So my cameraman trying to show you the full force of the police there. And you have right there, Ty.
Oh, okay, he's filming. Okay,
yeah. So this is what they've been dealing with in St. Louis now for 2 weeks. If you come into this late, the protests erupted after a former police officer named Jason Stockley. He, in 2011, shot and killed 24-year-old Anthony Lamar Smith. He was taped on audio saying, "I'm going to kill that motherfucker, you watch," during the police chase before he shot him 5 or 6 times. So you have the motive. He said, "I'm going to kill that motherfucker, you watch." He also, it seems to me, after he killed him, he went into the car.
They said we all under arrest.
Okay, so they're saying they're all under arrest, they said. So that means me possibly too. Good to know. So we've been kettled in here with really nowhere to go. Hold on.
Listen. They said we all under arrest. They said we are all under arrest. Listen. They said we all under arrest. They kettled us. They told us to move. They said move. But now.
Okay, they're moving in.
Lock up.
So
I need the media to move. I need y'all to move.
as you see, they're moving in on the protesters here. What they're going to do, who knows? But they're moving in. They got their risers, their billy clubs. I'm going to put my goggles here on just in case. And as you see, they gave them nowhere to go, and now they're moving in. And it's a bit of a standoff right now.
Come on, I gotta go work, man. Mic check. What's understood ain't gotta be said. Never reply.
You're saying something we're not hearing it. Standing on the sidewalk.
Listen.
And you see silence right now among the police, and looks like police or somebody on bikes back there too. So, bit of a standoff, and the police have entrapped all of these protesters here. It seems like 1, 2, 3, 4 ways now. All sides of the street blocked, so they cannot move. And the protesters are here on the sidewalk. Majority of them have their arms together, joined in, being peaceful. But the police here say that they're going to arrest everybody. I guess that means me too. We'll see. And what's up?
Billy clubs, that they got pepper spray ready to go. Billy clubs. We got 10,000 people watching right now. Billy clubs. And yeah, it's just crazy. I think it's absurd that they're arresting everyone. Everyone has their hands up. Everyone has their hands up right now. And they're being peaceful. Some of them are about to sit down. And then you got people on the front line willing to be arrested. But everyone has their hands up. And now they're sitting down. So
you see more police coming now from behind.
It's about 500 police out here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And they've been experiencing this basically for 2 weeks now, which is disproportionate force. And they're about to arrest people on the front lines. They're picking them up to arrest them. They haven't told them what they're arrested for, but
Some of us weren't even ever on the highway.
yeah. Say that again.
I was never on the highway. We were walking north on Jefferson and joined in. I never broke a law. Including her. She was with us. She was on Jefferson. She never even blocked the street.
So a lot of these people were never even on the highway, yet they're being arrested still. So far, there's been no pepper spray or tear gas or any of that stuff. Ty. So they're starting to arrest them from that side too. And they're screaming, tell us your demands, tell us your demands, stop killing us, stop killing us. And they're on the front lines here.
They backed off. It looked like they're waiting for more police to come, and then they can come back in. So they're coming back in now.
We must love and support each other.
Yeah, so
Looking to lose our shame. It's our duty to fight for our freedom.
They're chanting, "It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom."
Okay, I'm turning off my phone.
Hey.
You're yelling, sit down with the camera. You're under arrest.
Press?
Yes.
Can't arrest press.
I'm going to arrest you right now. Sit down.
So he's telling them, leave the area.
The guy who told you that is Lieutenant Boyer, Boyher. He said, I'm going to arrest you right now.
So you're telling them to leave the area, but where are you telling them to
I'm not
go?
telling anyone to leave the area.
Right. So basically, so that's a legal observer that they're arresting. That they're arresting a legal observer. There's a thing called freedom of the press, I believe. They don't seem to care about that here. They are threatening to arrest the press here. And they're about to pepper spray people.
So you're under arrest.
Why am I under arrest?
Why is he under arrest? For what?
Hey, do not resist.
Excuse me. Why is he under arrest? Officer, why is he under arrest?
Do not get away from me. Do not face me again.
He's about to pepper spray me.
You said do not face me again. Prepare to stand.
Do not face me again, he said. Do not face me again.
Hey, you have any weapons on you, sir? You have any weapons on you?
So he just arrested my camera guy there. Great.
Are you arresting the people with cameras first?
No, we're arresting you. You are under arrest.
For what?
For being on the highway, you're under arrest.
For,
Boyer says I am under arrest.
Yes.
okay. So they're locking up the media.
Everybody here is under arrest.
They're locking up the media here.
Quit reaching into your pockets. Stop reaching into your pockets.
Under arrest. Quit reaching in your pockets. All right, I want you to stand up.
They said they gave us an order to disperse and then counter-court us in every corner and will not let us leave. So now
Donate to bit.ly/STLEAIL.
You're under arrest for being on the highway. We never gave you an order to disperse over, ma'am.
Even if the cops are going after people with cameras first, they got the Young Turks cameraman, they got Reb Z. These are targeted arrests. Look how many people they've skipped over to get the people with cameras.
He rode with me. He wasn't on the highway.
Hey, Melvin, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey, they want to assault my
Please,
mom.
please,
And I'm with
share
the
our
media.
share
I'm
our
with
video
the
about
media.
bit.ly/STLEAIL.
So they're arresting, it seems, journalists who covered a peaceful demonstration. I thought there was a freedom of the press in the First Amendment, but I guess not in St. Louis.
And then they arrested
Sir, you're under arrest. Can you put this hand on your back, please? That's what you need to do.
another guy with a camera.
Can't keep flashing it
Looks
like
like they
my
might
eye
arrest
have a
Scott
seat.
Campus. please donate to the legal fund. Have to fight this. They have to be stopped.
Tell my sister to call mama.
Look at their priorities. There's
Okay, what I'm going to do, these yours?
and they're going for the guys who
Both of them.
people who were on the edge because we weren't part of the main
I'm
crowd.
going to lift you up, okay? Yep. Get your feet under you. Turn that off. If you can. There's a button down at the bottom.